We are mucus free. 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 We are mucus free.
What's going on, brothers and sisters, and welcome to the Mucus-free Life Podcast. It's been a minute. I know it's been a minute since we've been on here, but I'm out now. I just got out of prison. I just got out of YouTube's censorship, fascism prison, where they looked at some old videos of mine that were quite old. They were not brand new. And they found me using words that are now we would consider to be naughty. I'm not going to say them now. The V word and the C word, and not the nasty C word, but the one that we're trying to warn people about, C word. And those videos got tagged and slammed. I got a strike, and this is my the second strike overall, but the first strike in this succession. So now I have to be real milk toast and lame, and I got to do just reaction videos. Can't put anything out of any kind of substance. We got to just, I just got to be as goofy and idiotic as possible so that they keep me up. That's not going to happen. We'll avoid talking about the few things that they don't appreciate us talking about, but that's about the best I can do, because we're always going to be coming with some fire and coming with some realness and some truth that is always going to make somebody uncomfortable. Somebody's not going to like it. Somebody's going to be like, these guys. And so it is what it is. And I'm actually this is day 11 of a juice fast for me. I've been fasting for 11 days, and I generally don't even talk about it or bring it up when I do it. But, I was compelled because I want to show people that what's possible, that this kind of, 20 years into the Mucusless diet, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not hard for me to do. This past couple weeks has been pretty smooth. Of course, there's ups and downs. The fasting process it's a process of waves. You go up and down. You got to kind of learn to ride the wave. But yeah, feeling pretty good. I hit the gym today, and I didn't lose any strength. I'm still able to lift, and was doing everything that I normally do. And but our lifestyle basically just shuts down so much of the suppositions and the assumptions of what you're supposed to eat and how you're supposed to live. And you got to have all this nutrition and these protein and get your vitamin this and B12s and all this kind of stuff. And the Mucusless Diet Healing System is the most revolutionary thing that you can do, because we're basically just saying, okay, let's put a halt to all of this nonsense from the past 200 years. These are theories that basically developed over the past 250 years, these nutrition theories, and they're wrong. They're filled with paradoxes, and somebody by the name of Professor Arnold Ehret came along and he solved these paradoxes. And so but as I say that about fasting, I always recommend do your due diligence. Read the book, the Mucusless Diet Healing System book. This is the annotated, revised, and edited edition that we put out. Check out the Rational Fasting book. I got my book, Spira Speaks. I talk quite a bit. Well, here's Rational Fasting. Spira Speaks. I talk quite a bit about the art of fasting. It's an art form, and it's not one thing. One of the things I really like about Arnold Ehret's approach to fasting is it's relative. It's if I was to define fasting from Ehret's perspective, it's a relative proposition, where depending on where you are physiologically, what you're doing is going to could be a fast or fasting in some level, meaning restriction of putting things into your body that you otherwise would be putting in. You restrict them, and you're on your way toward what we could call fasting. Now, of course, dry fasting, water fasting, juice fasting are the primary the primary modes within the modes. And of course, they're contentious. You got people arguing back and forth about their definition of fasting. And I'm just saying, well, it's really depends on where you are. For right now, there's a number of people doing, and I guess I'm doing it too, the 7-day mucus-free challenge. Was started by Kyrene, and that's showing some people that really didn't understand what it really means to be mucus free when you actually get rid of the fats, get rid of all the starches, for 7 days, because that's the challenge. Can you go 7 days 100% mucus free? We're not saying you got to live like that yet, because you got years to transition to that, but can you do it for a day? Can you do it for 7 days? And I can almost guarantee you it's harder than you think it's going to be, even for some folks that have done it that were former raw foodists. And they're like, whoa, this is way harder to be 100% mucus free, eating cooked mucus free foods, than it is to be 100% raw. But you can have all the fats, you can have all the avocados you want, you can have all the nuts and all the seeds and all that kind of stuff. And the oils and things like that, if you're into that. So, but that's something that's really cool. We're going to do it again in the first week of December. We're going to do a 7-day mucus-free challenge. And so we're going to promote it a little bit more, talk about it. I'll make some videos about it where I'll be more detailed about the kind of recipes that are acceptable, just from the viewpoint of, if we're going to set a boundary, mucus-free is the way to be. And so to get people, and then eventually next year, I want to start a mucus-free Monday thing. And, because I think that could become a thing, because, that's what the mainstream likes. The mainstream likes these, like the little half measures, like the real, like a day. Can do it for a day, that kind of thing. And so it's like, all right, that's good. What's going on, Reese? Say what's up to everybody in the comments there. Reese and Kyrene's in the house. And so I appreciate everybody being here. We have a very, very, very special guest on the program today, Mr. Vadim Voss, who I met a number of years ago when he applied to be in the Mucus-free Life Research and Development team. And he got in here, and we've been working together for some years. And then about a year and a couple months ago, he got me hip to the wonderful world of decentralized finance, cryptocurrency, which was something that I was interested in for many years, but had never taken the plunge. And Vadim came by and he was like, hey, hey, check this out. I bet you don't know about this. And I checked it out. I'm like, oh, okay, let me check that out. And so we're going to talk all about that, but to give a little bit more info on Vadim, he's a cryptocurrency expert, educator, and founder of Next Level DeFi Academy, graduated from the prestigious NYU Stern School of Business and Bachelor of Science degree in Finance and Information Studies, has over 22 years of experience as an entrepreneur and 9 years as a successful crypto trader, investor, technical writer, yield farmer, and educator. He's practiced Mucusless Diet Healing System for over 5 years. He's been a member of the Mucus-free Life Research and Development team for 3 years and part of the Professor Arnold Ehret Day Planning Committee for 2. He's a gifted communicator, forward thinker, and with a passion for helping people gain and protect their financial and physiological freedoms. Give it up, everybody, for Vadim Voss. Let me undo that. Boom. What's going on, man?
Hello, Professor. Greeting to all my fellow Mucusless Diet Healing System practitioners. Great to be here. I'm a long-time watcher of the podcast, but never had the chance to be on the podcast. So
yeah,
great.
So, yeah, man. And so, Vadim is one of these guys that's been behind the scenes. He he'd rather be behind the scenes. He likes kind of being behind the scenes, but he has been compelled to come forward to help those of us in the community, particularly in the mucus-free community, to really gain some financial freedom, gain some understanding of things to come, and bring us into the 21st century when it comes to just participating in the next gold rush, the next thing, which is what we need as Mucusless diet practitioners, because we need this. And this is the kind of thing me and Brother Air used to talk about all the time. We would talk about, like, at some point there's going to be something where you're focused 100% on your physiology. You're focused on your fasting. You're focused on whatever it is. And the other stuff is taken care of, in terms of, like, you have to go break your back or go, kind of socially deal with folks that are against what you're doing. You don't have to do that. And so this is a step in that direction, which we're going to get into. So Vadim, tell us just kind of a little bit about your backstory, how you kind of where you were before the Mucusless diet, how you discovered it, and sort of what your journey looked like up to this point.
Thanks, Professor. So I came to US at about 12 years old. Until then, I lived in a country called Belarus. Well, it was actually USSR back then. When I left it, literally USSR fell apart, I think 9 months after I left it. So the country I used to live just ceased to exist. And the reason I left was because many of you probably seen the series Chernobyl, about the nuclear plant that blew up because of gross negligence and multiple other things. So it blew up, and basically the radiation came over to Belarus, and I started getting sick. My sister started getting sick, like a little bit of leukemia and other ailments. So we had to, basically run to US because my uncle was already here. When we got here, my family was pretty broke. I mean, I came here with $100 sewn into my jacket. So that's all we had. So we had to, but thankfully we received welfare and food stamps. And my mother was, washing floors of people's apartments for cash. And my grandmother was babysitting Hasidic children to make a little extra scratch. So, we're kind of scrappy in the beginning. Then about at 12, 13 years old, I got enough money together to put together my own PC. So, I got into the internet, and, I was always into computers since the early age. And eventually about 14, I got a job on the internet with this company called Jumbo, where I would just collect content for them, and they would pay me pretty good money. So I started making about $15 an hour, help out my family. So then, I finished junior high school, went to NYU, got a pretty good scholarships, financial aid, had to work 3 jobs to pay off that ridiculous tuition. I mean, I was doing like tech support at night. I was selling insurance, and I was doing computer consulting, network consulting around, the city, Manhattan.
And it just here's some. So I'm gonna do some
me.
pictures in the back as he's talking. So before we just saw Chernobyl, where it's like this, because Vadim's life is like a movie. So basically, family picks up and leaves and they had to, and to survive, to avoid certain death, and then went through what he was just talking about there. Then he ends up over here. And so, all right, so keep continue.
Yeah. Then I graduated from NYU, and I actually had a job offer from PricewaterhouseCoopers, but 9/11 happened, so the downturn started, and they actually took the offer back, and they gave me like 10 grand to sign the paper that it's all good. So I had to kind of scramble, and that's when all my computer consultant experience came in handy, and I got a job as a network admin for a big British law firm in Manhattan. So I was doing that for 3 years. It was a nice, cushy job. I made, quite a chunk of change, got some savings saved up. But then I realized that I hate the 9 to 5. Like, I am not a 9 to 5 person. I can't stand having a boss and, taking orders and people giving me, crap all the time. So I quit, and I went back overseas because I obviously speak fluent Russian. So, and English, and I had all this tech. And overseas, like Russia, Moscow, Ukraine, the tech was pretty low level. So, I got into everything. I was exporting cars from US. I was doing construction, vending machines, like some high tech stuff. Yeah, and so I was doing that throughout 15 years. I mean, I was entrepreneur. I was doing business in Lithuania, Ukraine, Russia, China, all across Europe. Yeah, it was a good time, a good time. I made quite a bit of money, but then my lifestyle caught up to me, which is where my downfall begins. Basically,
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, dun dun dun, yeah, the pus and mucus and alcohol and the partying, just caught up to me, and I just fell apart, man. Like that's it, everything just started exploding. My stomach, my teeth, my back. I had like 2 back surgeries, a shoulder surgery, knee surgery. I mean, I had like 7 implants because my teeth started falling out because of all the acid, right? So when that happened, yeah, that's me at my probably worst. I mean, like huge. I think I was like 260 pounds or something like that, something ridiculous like that. Yeah, like I was not happy in that picture. Like no bueno. Yeah, so I had to basically stop all business as
Yeah.
usual. You know, Thankfully I made some money so I could live off my savings, and I got hardcore into health. And I didn't know about Mucusless Diet Healing System then. So I started doing crazy long fasts. I was doing like a 30-day water fast, a 9-day dry fast. Then I got into psychedelics like ayahuasca and iboga just to deal with the huge stress. Yeah, and some of those things helped, some of those things didn't, obviously. But yeah, and while that was happening, obviously there was no business going on, and kind of things fell apart. But then I found Mucusless Diet Healing System. I started practicing hard, started fasting, and things were in the up and up. So my health started improving. And then I was kind of missing home, United States, missing my family, and I was away for over 15 years. So I decided it's time to come home. Enough adventure. I mean, I had some wild times. I mean, I almost got eaten by a pack of homeless dogs in
Right.
Moscow, where I had to jump
Yeah.
on the car and kind of kick him off of me. They were trying to get me.
Right.
Good thing like a female dog went by, and the whole pack started chasing that female dog,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
just ran in that direction. So that dog saved me. Thank you. Otherwise, I would
Right.
not be sitting here today. Yeah. Yeah, and then basically I came back, and then I kept practicing the Mucusless Diet Healing System. Then I applied then I saw Professor Spira's message about the research and development group, and I decided, wow, that sounds great. I definitely want to be involved, because at that point my health was pretty good, like 80% there, still not totally healed, but well, once I joined the group, obviously I received a lot of support from all the members. Shout out to all the research development team members, recast, everybody, cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so at this moment my health is not perfect, but it's pretty much, I solved all those issues. I mean, everything is resolved. The magic of the Mucusless Diet Healing System saved my life, literally. So so then obviously by that point, all the businesses that I kind of ramped up over the years, they were gone, because you can't do business when you're falling apart, right? Yeah. And yeah, so then the whole time though, since I think 2008, once my business fell apart, some banks took advantage of my condition, and they stole my accounts. Some of my partners basically scumbagged me a little bit, but that was okay. That was okay. I had enough savings, good enough chunk to live on. So then I decided now it's time to get back into the world of business, become an entrepreneur again. And I started already at US, kind of at home territory, right?
Right.
So yeah, so I started. So I was into crypto back then since 2008, but I really started getting into DeFi and investing my money and doing some trading. And I was doing technical writing for this kind of marketing, online marketing, crypto startup. So I was trying all kinds of things. And while I was looking for business, people kept asking me, like, how do you get passive income? So I told them what I do, right? And they're like, oh, show me. So I started showing them for free, like Professor Reese and other people, like, but it takes time. And some people started paying me. like my other acquaintances who weren't with my friends, so I couldn't do it for free. So they're like, yeah, we'll pay you. Just show us how to do it. But it would take every time like 4, 5, 6 hours, every time per person,
right.
So, and then I was kind of realizing, oh, this makes sense. Why, I need to come up with a way. There's got to be a better way than this. So, I kind of came to realization that I need to make an online course. So there's basically a virtual Vadim helping everybody to make passive income in decentralized finance. And that's kind of where I'm up to now. So I spent almost 4 years, like 2 years, just researching the whole crypto DeFi space to see the competition. Then another year just educating myself on the whole online course kind of industry, how it's all done, how to make courses, how to market courses, how to write scripts, voiceovers. It's big. There's a lot to learn, as I found out the hard way.
Right.
and then
they always pitch it. Oh, it's so easy. You could do it. You do it.
No.
And then you actually start doing it. You're like, oh yeah. There's a lot to do.
It is hard, extremely hard, but I'm always up for a challenge. So then once I learned all that, I spent a whole year literally making the course. Actually, getting down to brass tacks. And Professor Spira was my mentor throughout that time because he's made a course before. I have not. So he was the experienced mentor that I needed, and the rest of the group helped out as well. And now I finished this course literally a couple of weeks ago, and I decided to bring it to the Mucusless Diet Healing community first, before I launch it out into the world and go global at some point. So that's my story.
Yeah, man. And so I want to go back to some of these pictures. Wait a minute, where we go here? There we go. All right. So we got just to take you back, because see, your story is kind of like it reminds me of the kind of thing of like Brother Air's story, where Brother Air basically lived a life before the Mucusless diet. He lived a life that movies were made of, that everybody wanted to do and be. Like he was the guy, in terms of on the other side of the other side of the law, the pusher man, as they would say, but to really high clientele, your favorite rock star and R&B star from the 80s knew Brother Air before he was Brother Air, and did business with Brother Air. And then and you used to ride around in helicopters, and it's that whole people, they're like, oh wow, that type of lifestyle has this allure, and Vadim has some of that in his lifestyle.
I had too much of that. Unfortunately, way too much of that.
Right. And I call this is the Alex Jones mode.
See, in Russia, you can't do business unless you consume alcohol.
Unless
it's a tradition. If you don't drink with them, it's considered like disrespect. Rude. Like, what? You're not gonna drink with me? Like, are you trying to disrespect me? Get out of here. So I had to.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, that's that tequila guns in Cancun. That's I think it's Gran Canaria thing. Yeah.
And so it's like it's one of them things where, and I always look like just drunk.
Like look at those eyes, man. They're so beady.
It's like getting all the money and the resources and all the can travel around, and but the health is deteriorating. Not happy, just it's like and that kind of thing. That's always a lesson for people, because a lot of folks they want that so bad. They want these lifestyles, but then you get there and it's like,
beware what you wish for.
Beware,
you just might get it.
And here was this was like you were talking about.
That would be my usual dinner, basically.
Like
beer and fish.
Beer, big old beer.
I would drink like 4 or 5 of those, actually. That was just the appetizer.
Appetizer beer.
Yeah, just the appetizer. Wow. That one is in Ukraine.
Because to sell that you're in Ukraine, where you live there. Like, where would you be today if you would have stayed there and didn't find the Mucusless diet?
Yeah, it's a funny story actually, because I saw in the news a building where I used to live
Mm,
actually got hit by a rocket and like blown up. Not the whole building, but a big chunk. Probably
right.
actually the chunk where I live. So if
Yeah.
I would have stayed
Wow.
over there, I would have been one of those people you see on TV being carted out, on stretchers from like a collapsed building.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was good timing for sure to come home, especially with all
Yeah.
the craziness.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because that's super deep. Because a lot of us, they're constantly talking about Ukraine, and we hear about the stories, and it's like just kind of like it's over there. Like we don't really know a lot of people in there. It's just we see stuff on TV, but you're like, no, I lived there. They
Yeah,
blew up my house, my
yeah.
old house. It's like, man,
Yeah,
it's a
and I
whole
left
nother.
Moscow just in time as well, because you see what's going on over there with
Yeah,
Putin
that
doing crazy things and
yeah, oh
oof.
yeah, yeah. They be trying to they be trying to enlist you right about now.
Nah, they'll probably deport me or worse. I mean,
Yeah,
Americans are enemy number one right now in Russia. So
yeah, yeah,
if I'll be living there, it probably wouldn't end well, put it this way.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that
And
was good
so
timing.
this is the after. This is at Era Day celebration
Yeah, clean that
20,
ass.
yeah,
Shout out to Brother Air.
2022. Yeah. Or no, this was 2021 pictures, I think.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah. This is 2022.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
And
wrong.
back to 2021. With,
Clear eyes, I'm here and that's
yeah, yeah, like look,
somewhere in
yeah.
outer space.
Yeah, yeah. So you right, compare that face of just conscious and breathing properly to
Yeah, and that's me like young.
especially that to that.
Yeah. It's me at 23 and the other picture is me at 43 basically. So
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's another
20-year
thing.
difference.
Yeah. So 23 years old. Because I mean, you look like you in your easy late 30s here. Like
Yeah. Alcohol does that to you, ages you. Yeah,
to,
that's
to how
43.
how old would you say 43?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
43 and 42 and 21 obviously. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a 20-year gap between those two pictures. So when they say, "Oh man, you're getting old," no, you're not. You're just eating pus and mucus and consuming poison, and it's killing you. It's
Right.
not because you're getting old. You're just getting worn down by the garbage in your system. That's it.
Right.
Simple as
Yep.
that.
Yep. Yeah. You start to clean it out and the beautiful things start to happen.
Yeah.
And
Once those enemas start going, that's when the magic happens. The distilled water and lemon enemas.
yeah, most definitely.
Courtesy of Brother Air.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
Our
thing.
absolute champion.
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally transformative. So tell us a little bit more, kind of just break down what's the difference between centralized finance and decentralized finance, and why should we care about decentralized finance?
Yeah, so centralized finance, basically the bankers have full control over your account, over all the software systems. Everything is centralized and not transparent. You can't see what's going on. You only see what they want you to see, like the numbers on the screen. As I found out the hard way, you see one
Mm-hmm.
number, all of a sudden a zero disappears from that number, and you're like, oh, what happened? That's kind of happened to me, where some of the banks kind of helped themselves to my money. And funnily enough, that's when Bitcoin took off and I started getting into that. So decentralized finance is basically like fully automated, transparent system on the blockchain. And unlike in centralized, you control your funds that are in crypto with your own wallet, with your own keys, and nobody can take it from you. Nobody can mess with it, and everything is automated. So that's the huge difference. There are no middlemen in decentralized finance. It's just you and the service, right, and the protocol and the blockchain. So that's the biggest difference, and that's the difference between slavery and freedom, which I think
Mm-hmm.
is that's what's relevant to us as MDHS practitioners, because we need to control what we put in our bodies, and we need to control our funds as well, because finances, as you know, it's really important. Whoever
Right.
controls your money, they control you, because then you have to exchange your time for money, and you have no free time to practice the system, do your enemas, to meditate, to fast. So that's kind of what I think.
And that's what I really loved about the decentralized proposition, because I came from, doing, been running my own business, and went to school, and got the scholarships and took out some loans and started running my own business. And I would do what they say, well, you put some away and save and that kind of stuff. And so I did that, and would have some of those money market accounts. I got into that, and I thought I was doing good. I was like, 20% a year, and on a good, something that's like a S&P 500 kind of account. I'm like, okay. And but then decentralized, and I start looking into what's going on there. I'm like, get a lot more than that with the same or less amount of risk if you know what you're doing. And so I was like, okay. And then on top of that, just the prospect of decentralized, and early this year, I was the victim of centralized bank, where the bank that I'd done business with since I was 15 years old, all of a sudden I got a letter that they didn't want to do business with me anymore. Like, well, wait a minute. I haven't done anything wrong, haven't broken any laws. I haven't ever in the past, whatever that is, 25 years or whatever it's been. I've never, 25 some years. I've never been late on a payment, on a credit card payment, nothing, just thought I was a pretty good customer, but for whatever reason, and you just got a thing. When I went down to the bank and I talked to the guy, because with the manager, I tried to develop relationships with the local managers and stuff at the banks, as I was taught to do. And basically he looked at my stuff and he was like, well, yeah, you didn't, they did. He literally told me, you must have not broken any laws because they didn't freeze your money. Like, he told me that.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Like that. He was like, well, this is like, normally the money is frozen whenever, and they start going through this process, but the money, they basically gave me like 11 days to get my money out and go elsewhere. And so that just helped me further realize like that we have no control in these centralized systems. And I didn't know about decentralized finance yet. And then Vadim showed me about it. I was like, wait a minute, this is the freedom that we're always talking about. This is the freedom that we're talking, and we'd always talked about it in terms of, just cash and bartering and just, on that level. But this is like, no, wait a minute. There's a whole space where you can have serious privacy, and which is a human right, freedom of association. Whoever I want to do business with, however I want to do business with them, however I want to do association with them, and however the money is involved, that's not the business of anybody but that association. And decentralized finance allows you to operate like that, actually exercise your freedoms. And so that's what really got me sold, when I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is the spot to really check out and seriously look into it, and then get into it. And once I was into it, I'm like, all right, this is okay.
I mean, this is the future. That's where it's all going.
Right.
And the reason why DeFi offers such better returns is because they cut out the middleman. Because the middlemen are the one that take all your profits. That's what's going down. You give your money to the bank, and then they take this money and they make money with it and just give you a pittance. I mean, they give you like what, 0.01% a year, which is ridiculous. It's nothing. It doesn't cover the inflation, which is probably 7 to 9%, right?
Right.
So you're losing money. Meanwhile, they're making money on your money. Yeah. Right. And they can freeze your funds or close your accounts at any time. So sometimes you can't even withdraw. You come to the bank and you say, oh, give me 10,000. Oh, you should have called us 3 days in advance. We don't have that kind of money here. And I later found out they never have that kind of money because they don't have the money.
Yeah.
It's all a big scam, fractional banking. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And, and this is something too. And so I'm going to put a link so tomorrow, by popular demand, we're going to have a live training on decentralized finance. And Vadim is going to give a training, and I'm going to be there. And we got a Q&A at the end. And if you got any questions that we don't get time to deal with here today, come tomorrow. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Discover the explosive power of DeFi, to gain the physical and financial freedom. So we are always bringing that element in, because for me, everything is about physiological liberation. Physiological liberation is the liberation movement, the liberation struggle of our time, of our era. And most people don't know that yet. Most people think that we're fighting for, I don't know what they're fighting for. Some of this stuff is ridiculous, but this is the real fight. Like, this is the real struggle. So anything that's going to help that, anything that's going to further the cause of physiological liberation is a good thing, and something that we need to invest our time into, our resources into. And so that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Sign up. There's still a few slots left for that. And yeah, it's going to be, and I know there was a bunch of people that had signed up and some folks that couldn't make it on Tuesday. And so this is the opportunity, because there's not going to be any recorded replay. We're not, and I know people getting used to that. They're so used to the on-demand thing, and they're spoiled. They're like, oh, you're going to send the video. It's like, no, we're not sending the video. We will do it live. Do it live, as he said. And so, so that's tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Come on through, sign up, and we'll see you there. And we'll get all way deeper into these issues of decentralized finance, and really, like, that is going to be something that's just important to the mucus-free community, whether you are wealthy or you have like a couple $100 in cash underneath your mattress. You need to know about this. This is, like we said, the future. You got all the institutional Black Rocks and all of those Fidelity, and all these guys are looking and plotting their transition into cryptocurrency space. And so we just happen to be at the right place at the right time, early enough, because most of the time you get to something like this too late. So we're actually have an opportunity to get there like gold rush, like get there at the right time. And if you know what you're doing when you get in there, then it's to me, it's safer than the centralized, if you know what you're doing. And so I hope to see you tomorrow at that. And a little later, we'll let me see. I was also going to share for people, if you can't make it, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Vadim's course, because basically the course is comprehensive and is hands-on, and you're doing what you need to do to move.
It's not theory. It's not trading. It's fully hands-on. Like, you see me doing it. And you can control your resources on every level. Because that's one of the problems with the space. It's very early, so it's a pretty steep learning curve. You just get in yourself and you try to learn from YouTube and from forums and from bits and pieces from everywhere. Usually it doesn't work out, because you don't even know what to look for if you're a complete beginner. So that was my mission when I was making this course, to make it super easy for people who never dealt with crypto, never dealt with DeFi, don't even know what Bitcoin is. It doesn't matter. Like, you can, with my course, you can just get into DeFi and make nice passive income. It doesn't matter if you invest a couple of grand, or if you're, rich, you made some money, you have 20 grand, you just make more. The math is the same, basically. So you'll make either a couple of $100 a month extra in passive income, or you can make $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 every month in passive income. It doesn't matter. The mechanics are the same, always the same.
Yeah. And that's in the passive income is key. That's like, because again, if this money is just sitting around, not doing anything, it's sitting around losing value. And so DeFi offers an opportunity when you become a liquidity provider, to put out a little term, to make just a nice return on your investment, and that's it, because you're providing something, you're a service, liquidity, and then you get rewarded for that, versus you provide liquidity to a savings account at any major bank and you get 0.01% versus I'm in a liquidity pool where I'm getting 112%. And so that was the choice I made. Was it was a hard choice. I looked at it, I was like, okay, I keep my money in the savings account at 0.01%. And it's silly because you'll get like 1 or 2 cents will show up every quarter. Like you may like, oh wow, I got 2 cents from my savings account investment, versus when you get involved in liquidity providing, it's a whole other ball game. And like I said, the key is learning how to do it right, learning how to do it the safe way, getting in there safe, legal, all that good stuff. That's exactly what Vadim's course shows. So I put a link down there in there, and let's see, we got a question. I think we could. These are the kind of stuff we'll talk about tomorrow, but I think we can.
That's
we
exactly
can
what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like my course is not about making money from speculation, from buying low, selling high. This course is about providing a service to the crypto traders. So basically, you get into the decentralized exchange and you serve as a money maker. So you allow them to trade between different tokens, and they pay you a fee for that. So that's what it's all about. It's about making more fiat, basically, not profiting off the volatility of crypto. I mean, I'm doing trading, but I can't teach that because that's too difficult for a regular person. Way too difficult.
Yeah, we don't. We don't need to be. And then that doesn't really go in line with what we're trying to do as Mucusless diet practitioners, where we're trying to have more calm and peaceful lives, and that trading lifestyle is not calm and peaceful.
Oh yeah.
And so
I know.
You
get so stressed out when you're in a position and it's going down, you have stop set, and it's it's no good. But this is a whole different thing. That's where you just kind of get into a farm, you provide liquidity, and you set it and you forget it, and that's it.
And the whole thing, and now one principle that does apply that carries over from TradFi to DeFi is the during the downturn, during the so-called bear market, that's when you want to get involved. You don't want to get involved when it's all high, because that's what happened with the Bitcoin folks got in there and then they're all high and they're excited, and then all of a sudden, it's everything that goes up is going to come down. It just doesn't come down as far. So, and it operates it's like that concept of the cyclical transition that I talk about with the Mucusless diet, where you have your ups and your downs, but when you come down, the key is to not go down as far as you were. So every time you go up a little bit, you fall just a little bit, and you go up again, and you just keep going up. But there's always going to be a fall. It's never just all the way up with no plateau, no stop. That just doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, I've been through like 3 bear markets, and usually the algorithm is to accumulate during the bear markets and then kind of sell it off during the bull market. That's for the trading fees. But my course is not about that. My course is about making fiat every month. Making fiat, which fiat means USD, like cash money, regular currency. So that's what it is. It's creating passive income in USD using crypto, basically providing service to crypto traders, which is great. It's not too involved. You could just kind of get in, loan them your funds in crypto, and collect fees. That's it. And then the crypto that you loan out, they could fluctuate, but it doesn't matter because the fees compensate for the volatility. And that's it. And on top of that, if you get in the bear market and then you collect the fees while you wait for the bull market, then you can actually make money on your initial investment as well once you take it out. Well, I'll get into all that in the course. I do have a theory module in the course, 1 out of 5, because I was trying to keep the theory piece like as little as small as possible, Because I know people don't want to learn about the blockchain and Bitcoin and Ethereum and like all this, words and terms. They want to know, like, how do I make money? What do I do? What do I click? How do I get in? And show me, which is what I did.
Right.
Step by step. Yeah. And there's actually nothing like it in the market. That was the 2 years that I spent researching what to do. Yeah, and nobody's doing that. Everybody just did trade, buy low,
Yeah,
sell high. Like,
trading. Yeah. And this is just a real quick little sneak peek here of what the course looks like and the different modules. And like I said, we get into a little bit more of that tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, you just take them from step one to
step by step.
where you are from in, out, back in, all different directions, what you need to do. And yeah, there's definitely nothing like it. And I was figuring things. So I was figuring things out before the course existed, and so I had Vadim's help. But then I was also like figuring things out on my own. And so we hit a lot of the little potholes that
we had all of them actually.
We hit every pothole,
every pothole,
and I got a chance to hit a lot of them.
Yeah,
and so so that. You can benefit from that, where it's all in one place. Whereas, when you're trying to figure out doing this by yourself, you're looking at trying to find YouTube videos, and then there'll be somebody that doesn't really speak English, but they try to make an English video.
They try
of a how-to video, and usually they make it with a cell phone, and it's like, well, I'm on PC, I'm on desktop. It's hard. Yeah. So it's a mess when you try to do it by yourself. But so this really makes it easy.
Well, I've had to do that. I had to learn everything myself. I kind of had to take my lumps, but now you don't need to, because I've done it for you, basically. Yeah. And we're also going to have a lot of support for people that have questions. We're going to have a dedicated Telegram group where they can ask any questions or run into any trouble. I'm going to be doing live Q&As on Zoom exclusively for Next Level DeFi students. So there will be some hand holding for this launch, which I'll probably not be doing again for other communities, because I do want to give back to the MDHS community. They have you guys, and the community overall helped me a lot. So I feel thankful, and that's why I'm kind of bringing it to you guys first. So you can get into the DeFi first and reap all the rewards. Because actually, there's down in StelaSwap, they have a special promotion. They're giving out $4 million in like bonuses to all the liquidity farmers, which is great. So the next 6 months is the best time to get in.
Yeah,
that's how they attract liquidity. They give you a bunch of money, bunch of bonuses, because very few people know how to do this. See, so only the crypto natives are reaping these rewards. See, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bridge that gap with my course, so that any person, any newbie can just take this course and take a little bit of his money and get it in there, and also start collecting 100%, 200%, whatever, as much risk as you can take.
Right.
From no risk with 30% to medium risk at like 250%.
Right.
So some of us like me are degenerates. We like to take risks. We like to gamble. That's me. That's why I trade, because I'm okay with risk. I'm used to it already. I've been risking my whole life. So don't use me as an example. I'm not the guy to follow in that sense. I always tell people, no, don't look at me. I'm a degenerate. Like, don't do what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's exciting stuff that's going on in this whole space, and now that once you get tuned to it, and and of course now I study it, and I'm watch videos about it and keep up with the news and the legislations and the new features and just all that stuff. And so I'm into it now. I'm in. And then once you get in, then you're like, okay, you see, you could definitely see where this thing is going. And it's like, a lot of them the folks involved will make the comparison. Like, this is basically like 1998 of the internet. Period. Like right before the explosion,
like the .com, basically, when everything crashed and then everything just went ballistic, just there. Because like we're in the space, and like I see the inside, because I'm in all the inside chats and then Telegram, Discord, And
Yeah,
like
like he
I'm
works
talking
with
with the
the
team.
actual developers and the people that develop a lot of these platforms. He's working with them, like, and
Yeah.
helping them.
Yeah, I'm basically passing them the feedback from my students that already went. Like I had some beta tests that went through this course, so I'm talking directly to the founders of Stella Swap and passing them information on what people like, don't like, the features they want, and they're actually building the features that my students want. So
Right.
like we're keeping this kind of loop going. You know, I pass them the information, they make the platform better for the end user, and the end users reap the rewards, right? So it's a virtuous kind of cycle. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But there's a lot of building going on. That's what people don't understand. Like the market, when they look at the market, oh, everything is bad, prices are going down. But actually, this time it's mostly because of macro conditions, not because of crypto. Crypto is doing great. I mean, there's more building going on in this bear market than any other bear market that I've seen. I mean, and then when the next bull market comes, it's going to be insane because there are use cases, there are like NFTs, DeFi, it's just, and more use cases coming along of all kinds. And I got some other use cases that I'm going to come up with. So I have some other projects, in the pipeline, which I can't talk about yet, but Professor knows
Right.
what I'm talking about. Like I'll be bringing those to the Mucusless MDHS community as well down the
Yeah.
line. Yeah, but yeah, it's the biddle market, like the hodl,
Yeah.
but this is the biddle market
Middle.
right now.
Yeah.
The biddle bear market, which are the best bear markets of them all, because that's where the value is built, but it's not reflected in the market because the average person doesn't know about it. He doesn't see it. All they see is just, oh, inflation is high and Powell keeps raising rates, and there's a war in Ukraine, and there's all
Right.
these things going on that basically artificially depress the prices. So now is the best time to get in my opinion. You don't want to get in at the top. It's buy low, sell high. It seems like common sense, but
Right.
most people always sell,
Yeah. They buy
sell low. They buy
high
high
and
and sell low.
sell low.
Yeah, it's just how it is. It's psychology. They get scared, they get greedy, and they buy high, and then they get scared and they sell
Sell
low.
low.
Wait,
Yeah.
and as a trader and an investor, you have to do the opposite. When everybody's scared, when there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy. When everybody's ecstatic and has euphoria and, oh my God, we're going to $1 million, that's when you sell and you fix your gains. You take your
Right.
profits. Free tip for everybody, for the community.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to have control over your own finances and your own money. Like that's
Yeah.
because, like as we say, you don't outside of the DeFi, they can shut you down. Like
Yeah.
if you say something they
Easily.
don't like, and they can shut you down. And so yeah, I'm happy to be here, and we got folks, a lot of folks in the mucus free communities already been jumping on board, already been getting benefits from this, and so like I said, yeah, come join us tomorrow. We're going to get a little deeper into it, into what is what's really going on, and how this can really benefit the Mucusless Diet Healing System community, because as I said, when you're going down this path, brother Air would always talk about the fall fund, and the word we would say when you're going through a fall is like a really profound healing crisis period of elimination that
Yeah.
happens. It's like we've done so much damage to ourselves, and our ancestors did so much damage to their selves that it requires an almost Herculean effort for us to get ourselves clean, get ourselves off of the addictive pus and acid forming foods. To it's not an easy feat, as a lot of people realize during this 7-day mucus free challenge, that this ain't no joke. Like this is the
Basics.
yeah, it's like, and so, but having that, the finances taken care of, where even if you're just getting like $100 a month coming in,
Helps out with the bills. You don't
like,
have
doesn't that
to
help? Like
invest a lot.
you didn't spend anything for that. That just came in. That takes care of a cell phone bill, or something, takes care of at least a tank of gas or something, and it's better than nothing, and it's like, but then you start doing the math and you start seeing, well, if I can make 100 a month, well, what would it take for me to make 1,000 a month and 2,000 a month? And then it's just math. It's a math game. You don't have to, like we said, it's not trading. You don't have to worry about that part of it.
No.
So definitely join us tomorrow. If you're interested you might want to just jump in the course right now. Go ahead and click that link, the mucusfreelife.com/DeFi-course, and just jump right in, because like I said, every minute, it's like as soon as you put your funds in, what I liked about it, as soon as you put your funds in, you start seeing it coming in, like
instant profits.
Instant.
I want you to wait.
It reads in real time. It's not like when you look at your stock portfolio from whoever you do your stocks with, and it's like you're getting the report from yesterday and or earlier today, or hour by however, whatever they do, several hours by hour kind of stuff. This is in real time. You can see like, oh, you can get it down like, I'm making this much every minute, if you just sit there and you don't have nothing to do and you're watching it. And so I like that. I'm like, okay, I can see it. I can see it coming in.
Sometimes it's fun to watch the money come in.
Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about so you're in New York trying to practice the Mucusless Diet Healing System in New York, which is can't be too fun at all.
It's not great, man. It's super loud, like super noisy. A lot of people still walking around wearing masks, sometimes 2 masks, outside, outdoors. I mean, we can talk about this. It's
it's like
not gonna mention any words.
Because I'm like, okay, how can we talk about New York without talking about the things that we want to talk about?
I was under a lot of pressure, from every side. I mean, like during the whole period, we'll call it that. I couldn't like go into any places, public places like restaurants. I mean, I don't really go to restaurants anyway, so it didn't really affect me. But something like, movie theaters were shut down, so that was okay. But like, I used to go to a gym, and then they tried to force me to wear a mask while I was exercising, and I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm just not gonna go. Like, I'm not gonna pay you either. So I had to switch to exercising at home, which is okay. Now I like it actually even better. Privacy, you do your own thing, have your own programs. So New York, man, it's the people here trip. Obviously, they're mostly liberals. They really trust the science. They really trust the government. Like I've had like grandmas push me out of the elevator physically because I wasn't wearing a mask. Like literally, like the door would open, I would try to get into the elevator, and this little grandma would just like start pushing me back out. And obviously, I'm not gonna do anything. She's like 95 years old. I breathe on her and she might fall over. And so I was like, okay, no problem. I'm gonna step out. I'll wait for the next one. Yeah, like one guy almost sicked his dog on me, because I also got an elevator without a mask. And he was standing there and he started like kind of putting his dog on me. I was like, come down, guys. And then he actually stopped the elevator and made me get out. Wow. He was like, no, you're not making it downstairs. And I live on 15th floor, so I could walk downstairs 15 flights, which I had to do when he kicked me out of the elevator. So I have some stories. So there was a lot of craziness going on here in New York, and I wish I was in the normal state like Florida or Kentucky or Arizona. But fortunately, that this is my family lives, so I've had to.
Well, I don't know if you want to be in Kentucky,
compared to New York, or California. Like my sister lives in California, and it got even more nuts. It's still nuts over there. They're still going at it with this whole craziness. It's still ongoing. And I see some stories coming out of China, which are like just insane. People still getting sprayed down with bug sprayers and and put little cubbies to quarantine if their test comes back positive. I mean, they still have zero like thing policy.
Right.
Not to mention any words.
Right.
So it's still going down. That's why it's super important if this stuff comes back to, control your own finances,
Right.
because there are a lot of things on the horizon. One thing that they're pushing is something called CBDC, central bank digital currencies, and that's
Right.
just pure evil. If you
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
centralized banking now is okay, is decent, wait until you get a load of CBDCs. Like
Right.
we're talking about programmable money. They can program it so that you can't spend your money outside of like 3 mile radius of your house. They can program it so you can only spend it on food or only spend it on gas. They can also program that money to expire after a month, after a year. So that's full control. That's a whole different level of control.
Yeah.
Like they can see it'll be issued by the central bank, and they'll be able to just turn it off. So if you say something they don't like, they'll just press a button and your money is gone. Or and in China, which is the testing bed for all this, they're tying it to a social credit score.
Right.
So basically, they surveil you, and if you do something wrong, like you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, they just turn off your money, or they just like set it to be used for only certain things. And or for example, your credit score gets impacted, and then you can't go on the train, can't go on the bus. Then that's it. It's all linked in. That's what they were trying to bring with those mandates. I'm not gonna say the word, but you get my drift. Yeah, so it's
Right.
crazy like that. So it's even more important now to fight for financial freedom. And DeFi and Bitcoin and crypto, that's the way out.
Yeah.
If you think you can just put your cash money under mattress and that's gonna save you, think again. They just might outlaw cash because you can get the things transmitted through it, right? Which was another fairy tale that they were like passing around with the whole germ theory.
Right.
So like we started talking about that.
Right.
Like that's
Yeah.
a
Because
whole different can of worms.
yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
then here we go again.
Here we
Like
go. Yeah,
strike two.
no. Let's not get Professor banned here, right? Let's keep things on the up and up. Yeah, but yeah, like that's actually working now in China. People think it's a fairy tale. It's going down.
Yeah, like people like, oh, that's not real. It's like, no, it's happening.
Yeah,
Facial recognition everywhere you
CBDCs,
go.
all of that.
Yeah, where you can't get in. There's no. Some places don't have keys. You have to go take your face. They would take off their mask, look into the thing, and it takes their information. And if anything is not right, that door is not going to open up and let them in to their home.
Yeah.
And
Facial recognition to get into your building.
and
It's
that's
going down.
and it's basically for anybody that watched the movie Minority Report years ago, that was showing all that technology and those plans back then. And it's just it's taking a little longer here, but it's implemented over there.
Yeah, it's the elite's wet dream, this whole system. Then they can control the masses on the granular level, like down to a T. They can basically dictate how you behave, what you say, where you go, who you talk to. They can control it real tight if that happens. So yeah, well, definitely not happening in Florida, because the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, is like, hell no. There will never be CBDCs here, or the mandates, or any of that social credit score mess. Not gonna happen. Yeah, that's why I might have to move to Florida at some point, real soon, because New York. I mean, New York had a law on the ballot where they could imprison you if you pose danger to others. So if you didn't take, the cerveza ritual, right? They could put you in the camp and just hold you there indefinitely. And that law was on the books. The governor, like Hochul, she proposed it. So it was getting a little crazy here. I was thinking, will I have to run? Would I have to, escape? Like that movie Escape from LA, or like Escape from New York. Vadim is, running. I ran away from Soviet Union, ran away from Russia, ran away from Ukraine, and now they're gonna get me in New York.
Away from New York. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. And people are sleeping on these things.
It is, man. And something that I've been so disappointed in over the past couple years is people's appetite for revolution, and just there's been so compliant, and I'm just
So
gonna
compliant.
yeah,
Jeez.
and just without even bringing without saying any, because I just literally got done deleting like 5 videos off this channel because of the censorship. I just really was incredibly disappointed with humans, and me and Brother Air both were just very disappointed in just to see people just bend over, genuflect, bend the knee, kiss the ring, just any form of deference that they could provide to the oppressors, to the enslavers. They folks were more than happy to do it. I call this the happy slave era.
Yeah.
And it just made me so sick to my stomach to see people just so damn compliant and so just okay with freedom being taken away, and okay, it's like it was a deep time, and now they're trying to rewrite history through censorship by the kind of stuff like what they forced me to take down, what they forcing other people to take down, some of the people that they're forcing off of the channel. These posts have become time capsules and things that future generations can look at if it's still anywhere, if it's not totally gone. Then future generations can look back, and it's going to be part of the history, part of the historical narrative that can be put together by future historians. And of course, the purpose of history is for us to not make the same mistakes over and over again, to see where things are, to learn what happened so we can see where things are going. And it was sad. It's been a sad couple years, but what came out of it is what we're talking about here with the decentralized finance, where there's always, because
there's always a way.
There's always a way. Every time in history, whenever you've had a downtrodden, oppressed people, there was always a way to resist in some way. And it might be a situation where somebody resists today so that their children or their children's children could thrive. Maybe they physically, whatever the situation was, they were in a position where they either had to stay alive, stay enslaved, or die. And many of our ancestors had to deal with that. That was the choice they had to make, which is why I take all this that we're doing so seriously, because we're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors that did what they needed to do, sometimes stayed enslaved, but tried to resist in ways that they could so that we could be where we're at now. And what do a lot of us do? We squander the opportunity, going to McDonald's and Burger King and Subway, defiling yourself, making yourself slow.
That's what they want, right? They want to keep you tranquilized, basically, so that your mind is slow and you can't find a way out. Meanwhile, while you're doing that, they're building a digital prison around you. Block by block by block. And at some point, when they finish building that, your little, digital cell, there's nowhere to run. as the Chinese people now found out. Now the Chinese, that they can't do anything. Because, for example, like WeChat, I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a chat system in China that integrates everything. It's your wallet, it's your chat, kind of like Telegram. But basically, in order to get WeChat account, you have to link it to your phone, and the phone is linked to your passport. So they know exactly where you are at all times. If you say the wrong thing, the police will literally come and get you at your apartment within 10 minutes. That's what they're trying to do here. So, and that's why this technology, this information is so important, because that is the way out. That is the way to resist the CBDCs. For example, like Bitcoin is the complete opposite of CBDC.
Right.
Bitcoin is a protocol that cannot be censored, cannot be blocked. You can store value. The inflation will not, you can't print more of it. So for anybody who wants to learn more about that, That's not my course. You just read a book called The Bitcoin Standard. It's on Amazon.
I already knew where you were going.
Yeah, come on. This book is the Bible. If you want to understand DeFi and cryptocurrency, and that's the book you should start with. That book blew my mind. That is
And the
probably
audio book is
best book.
up on YouTube, so you don't have to pay anything. It's up there.
Yeah, it's free.
Good
you can just listen
book.
to it. Yeah, this book will blow your mind. Like, you will understand. This book goes into the fiat, the centralized banking system. So it not only teaches you about Bitcoin, it teaches you about the current banking system, the system you're in,
and the history of monetary systems in general, which
what money is, history of money as technology. And Bitcoin is the newest form of money. It's the hardest money in existence. It's harder than gold, because try carrying gold through an airport security. Good luck with that. try sharing gold or sending gold. Yeah, good luck with that too. But with Bitcoin, you can send any value for a couple of pennies anywhere in the world within 5 minutes. That's the value of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. People tell me, oh, what's the value behind Bitcoin? It's just crap. It's just, some weird Ponzi scheme. Well, those people never read Bitcoin Standard, okay? Or the Bitcoin white paper. And when they do, they're like, oh, okay, now I understand it. Yeah.
Right.
That's why there is over almost $500 billion currently in Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin has been going strong for 14 years, and it hasn't been hacked once. Not once. It's actually the champion. It's the safest form of money and store it, like to store your value. That's where I would store my value. So you can make money in DeFi with my course and store your profits in Bitcoin. See, it's the perfect combination. That's what I recommend to my students. When they say, oh, what if I take the money out? I mean, yeah, you can also take the money out, convert it to fiat and like USD, and use it to pay down your expenses, right? In real world. I always recommend that. But if you want to save that money and make sure it's not demolished by the inflation, which is not 9%, that's what they tell you. I think the real inflation is closer to 20% in terms of loss of purchasing power. It's insane. Right. I think like 40% of all currency has been printed in the last 2 years.
Right.
Don't quote me on that, but I think somewhere around that.
A lot.
Something crazy. A lot.
Yeah.
Even Brother Air read Bitcoin Standard. I've actually, on the last Air Day, I've ordered it, rush delivered from Amazon to the Airbnb volunteer house, and I gifted it to Brother Air so he can understand what this whole new money revolution is about. Look at me, I'm like, PR for Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin, they should hire me. To promote their stuff. Yeah, but Bitcoin doesn't need anybody to promote it. Bitcoin is inevitable. It's coming.
Yeah.
It might be world currency, in 10, 20 years. So, and I think that'd be great. Something neutral, not controlled by the banksters and Powells and manipulating all this, interest rates. First, they print the money, give it out to all their buddies, and then they basically raise the rates, contract the money supply, so there's no loans to be had, except for their friends, obviously, who already got plenty. And then they just take your assets, the real assets, your land, your house, your car, your time. See, that's what they do. They print papers out of thin air, and then they use it to buy your time, buy your assets, and everything. That's the scam that they run on the population. Yeah, well, if you read that book, it goes real detailed into that whole scam. People talk about DeFi as a scam. The biggest scam in the world is not DeFi. It's fractionalized banking. That's the biggest scam in the world, where they can create $10 for every $1 that you deposit. As soon as you deposit $1 into your bank account, right away, they can loan out $10 to the next sucker. And guess what? The collateral for that loan is a real asset that they will take from you if you don't pay back the loan. See how that works?
Yeah.
So they give you funny money that they just made out of thin air. But in order to get that funny money loan, you have to give them real collateral. Your house, your apartment, your car, anything you own, even your time when you work at a job.
Right.
You just got to know how to play the game. And I've learned all the facets of that game, from the financial, traditional finance side, from the crypto side, from DeFi, Bitcoin side. Yeah, you got to understand them all. Right. But not with my course. My course is all hands-on. I'm not gonna bombard you with all this information. You could get that for free. You could research it. That's why I kept my course
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
on. That was the whole point.
It's the the
People
no
ain't got time for
nonsense.
that.
Yeah, just like, okay, how do I do it? It's the
Yeah,
perfect
just tell me how to do
for
it.
all
Just
the
show me how
people
to do
that
it.
just show me how to do it.
Just
Like,
show
I
me how to
don't
do
care
it.
all that it's great in the future of humanity. Just show me how to do it.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
yeah,
the one
that's
question
what
I'll
that
get
does.
all the time. I mean, when I try to go into the Bitcoin and value and what is money and how DeFi works, my consulting clients would be, just tell me how to do it. How do
Yeah,
I make money? I don't care about crypto. Just tell me what to do. Okay, fine. That's what you pay me for. It's all right. The customer is always right.
right.
Like,
And
get it
I
done.
want to address, like, so I know some folks that listen to us, they'll be that are on the side of like, well, you got to get out of the system altogether. We're gonna just get out of the monetary system. We got to go. We're gonna just get our, well, then we're gonna get our land, and okay. Well, how are you gonna get the land? Because
Yeah.
even the Amish deal with the financial systems to a degree.
They pay property
And
tax for
yeah,
sure.
they're people, so it's like, well, we're gonna get it, and then we're gonna just grow our own stuff, or we're gonna go to Costa Rica or some other country, and we're just gonna get some stuff and live off the land. And it's like, well, I mean, if
You could do that
you
at some point.
could,
Yeah, you could.
but still, like, it's gonna take something for you to get there. How are you gonna raise that money?
Yeah.
the initial money to get you a plane ticket to get to Costa Rica, to get the the first week of resources, if maybe it's not growing yet. What are you gonna do until your fruits and your vegetables are growing? If they're not already together yet, there's
How
you need
will you defend
resources,
it, right? You need resources for that as well.
right?
Because the pus and mucus culture, the death culture, they're going to be coming for you. They're going to be coming for those resources. Yeah. So you're going to need resources to defend your stuff, basically, right? Not everybody is as enlightened as us. Some people will just, take it. And you got to do those people.
And right. I mean, you always have to learn from Native Americans, Africans, for African ancestors, my ancestors.
Indians.
We got to learn what happens when you can be as peaceful as you want to be, and try to go hide in the woods somewhere with your little, with your stuff and homestead, and hope to God Christopher Columbus don't show up, or somebody that's related to his ass don't show up, because he will enjoy burning you at the stake and peeling your skin off and torturing you to death. You can't. It's like we got to deal with whatever the modern time is. You deal with that in those systems. But what we're doing in terms of physiologically is ancient. It's ancient practice. We're transitioning back. We're going back to the stomachs of our ancestors, dealing with that. And so, but it's okay to use, when it can serve us, to use modern technology that helps us advance that. Again, it's like, if you put physiological liberation at the center, then everything else revolves around it, and everything else is, so you think differently about technology. You're not building, it's like, look, half the stuff that's out here is created for pus and mucus based values. A lot of these clubs, a lot of these inventions, some of these video games, the Grand Theft Auto. I want to experience what it's like to murder a lot of people, and it's so fun, jumping in a car and steal and do this and that kind of stuff. That's where the money and the resources and the ingenuity of a pus and mucus based mindset and reality goes to. But what about, you clean yourself up, mucus free? What does a mucus free society look like? What does a mucus free technology, what kinds of things would we invent if we had the resources and we had the educational institutions that we created and that we controlled? And I would put us, when that time comes, over and whatever's out there now will far surpass that, because it's a whole different. You're talking about, burning things and having this nasty stuff in the air, breathing in, like it's not a mucus-free technology. That's some pus. We're burning the old ancestral dross of the earth. It's like trying to burn that off and running around with it. It's like it really is kind of like a roach or some kind of insect, like right before when they're about to die and they're on their back and they're like, doing that. I mean, that's what humanity's doing now. It's all this stimulation, all this like, gotta go over here, gotta go, let me fly there. It's like Mucusless diet brings all that down. Like, nah, you need to relax, settle it down. Let's settle it down. That doesn't mean that we're supposed to be anti-technology or anti, like, oh, we gotta,
or anti-money, like, oh, money is evil. Oh,
yeah,
we don't need that. It's a transition. I mean,
yeah,
if you're interested in learning about how to live without money, the irony is that you need money to get away from money. So money is the way to escape needing money and using money in the first place. But you have to get to that resource-based economy. If you guys are interested in that, you should read the Jacques Fresco's book, The Best Things Money Can't Buy. Yeah, like that book will, that's like book 2 I would recommend after Bitcoin Standard. Like, so Bitcoin is kind of like the transition towards a world with no money. Just like in Mucusless Diet Healing System, you can't just go straight to fruits, right? You have to transition with a transition diet. You can't just go straight to fruits because you will get demolished. Same thing with resource-based economy. You need to first build up and obtain the resources, and then you can get rid of money altogether, or have the resource-based economy on the inside, but you can deal with the rest of the world through Bitcoin, right? As the common tender, as the border, as the exchange unit of choice. So yeah, I put some thought into this. So
yeah, and this is the kind of stuff we work on, this stuff in the research and development team. It's like we got a real, when we say R&D, we're working on some stuff, and lots of times, it's the kind of stuff that we can't even talk about yet. We can give a little hint.
We all need resources. Like the Mucusless Diet Healing System community needs resources. They need money. That's also part of my mission, to teach people how to make money in this economy, in any economy. Right. Because if we're all rich, we can make things happen. Money is like the ink for our 3D printer, right? We can print our ideas into the world using money as fuel. That's what it is. You can use money to kill people like they do when they're dropping bombs on all these poor countries, or you can use the money to plant mango trees, and have fields, and then take down slaughterhouses and do all kinds of good things. So money is just a tool. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just a tool. Just like a scalpel. You can use it to perform a surgery, save someone's life, or you can slit somebody's throat. Does that mean the scalpel is bad? No, it's the person wielding the scalpel that's good or bad. Either pus, mucus, or a practitioner. So that's what people fail to understand. You need money. Money is good. But it needs to be used for good, not for evil, as it currently is in the world. The most evil people have the most money currently. That's the problem. And they don't want to share. And decentralized finance is all about changing that. It's all about putting the money back in our control, in people's control, and especially with Bitcoin. Well, once you read the book, you understand what I'm talking about. It's fair currency that can be debased, controlled, censored, or stopped. That's what it is. And eventually, once people realize what it is, because 99% of the people in the world currently have no idea what Bitcoin is, including even me 3 years ago. Because, like I was orange pilled, as they call it, because, it's like orange, the Bitcoin symbol. They call it being orange pilled. It kind of kept seeping in. I couldn't quite grasp just how big Bitcoin technology is for the world. I think is the biggest invention in human history that Satoshi Nakamoto created. Like really fair store of value for humankind. That's what it is. And they try to ban Bitcoin so many times, and it just never worked because it can't be banned, really.
Yeah.
without destroying everything around it. I mean,
Right.
you'll have to ban internet in
Right.
order to stop Bitcoin. And if you do that, then their whole economy just falls like
Yeah.
dominoes.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's enough
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
And I was I was one of them people that so I came real close to putting $1,000 in Bitcoin. It was like 2011. That was right, and there was all these the apostles of the Bitcoin, the coming age, and all this stuff back then. And 2011, 2012, there was a lot of that. I mean, I started hearing about it as early as 2009 when it first came out, and I actually got a wallet, like one of them wallets, as I was trying to figure out, like, how do you do this? And you want to talk about no information being available yet.
Yeah.
And so as I finally kind of looked things, I was like, okay, here's a wallet. That thing was so wonky. And it just I just was like, I don't want to, I don't feel comfortable putting nothing in this thing. Like, I don't, and I would hear all these horror stories of people losing their phrases and couldn't get into the wallet and losing all these millions of dollars. And so I was just kind of like, I think I'm gonna wait until the technology is refined to a certain degree, and I'll check back. And that's what I did. So I checked. So I missed that first wave, that 2017 hit that but I'm not missing the next one.
We're still extremely early.
Still way early.
Way early. You guys are not missing out on anything. Like, everybody's still early. 99% of the world population is still not in crypto. They still don't understand what this is. But the technology is mature now. We have all these centralized exchanges. We have all this like easy to use apps on the phone. You can easily fund things. You can store your own crypto on your hardware wallet, so you can't be hacked. Back in the day, they didn't have anything like that. You had to write down on a piece of paper a phrase and put it in the safe, or dig a hole in the ground and bury it there. Yeah, and we had this Mount Gox debacle where there was one exchange literally, and it got hacked. Well, they claim it was hacked, but this guy stole everybody's Bitcoin. Yeah, so now though it's great. And now there is Lightning coming, which is a technology which will scale Bitcoin. So there'll be like sub 1 cent transactions. Like, the transaction will cost less than a cent, and they'll be instantaneous. Yeah. And now El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as their official tender. And the central bankers are shaking their boots like, oh my God. Because if it works in El Salvador, the other countries might follow suit, and they'll adopt Bitcoin as well. And the IMF can't control Bitcoin. They can't print it. They can't loan it. It's real value. They can't inflate it away, which is what they're doing now with all this raising rates, lowering rates, and all these traders. I mean, it's madness out there. I mean,
there's a lot of games being played. Like, and it's all in, especially in the closer you get to that centralized stuff. There's all kinds of. And that's what they're trying to do, is scare people away from crypto with all the stories of the failed centralized cryptocurrency projects and just some of these projects, that just fell apart, the Celsius and all this kind of stuff. That those aren't DeFi. Dude, there's not DeFi. That's not decentralized finance.
But in the news, they always say it's DeFi. DeFi failed.
Yeah.
DeFi stole people's funds. DeFi can't steal your funds. If it's real DeFi, you control your keys. So they can't take your crypto. But those Celsius and Voyager, they were just basically glorified crypto banks. That's what they were. They would take your crypto and just hold it in their own wallets. And then when the bear market hit, they would just steal it. That's it. And then say, oh, you loaned it to us. Didn't you read it in the terms of service? It said right there, you're loaning us your money. So yeah, sorry, we have to take it.
Right.
Mashinsky. Oh, they came out all right. All those owners and CEOs of those centralized DeFi companies. They got plenty of money. Yeah, that's why I promote real DeFi, decentralized, where you control your own keys, your own crypto, and you can operate your funds as you see fit with no penalties for withdrawals or anything like that. Yeah, that's what my course teaches. Not that mess.
Right.
The fake DeFi, as I call it. But it's all right. Bear market was great in that sense. They actually cleared out all the pretenders. They couldn't handle it.
Right.
They couldn't handle it. right? When it was bull market and everything was going up, they were making all these risky bets, doing all these risky things, buying, loaning money out to all these funds, like Three Arrows Capital. If anybody heard about that, like those guys just wiped out like 3 or 4 companies. These companies would basically advertise that they were DeFi and they were safe and your funds were protected. And then in the background, they were loaning billions of customers' dollars to these hedge fund managers. They're running crazy risky trading strategies. And then when the bear market came and the traders basically lost their shirts and they defaulted on their loans, that's it. There was no collateral.
Right.
Unlike in real DeFi where most loans are over collateralized. So you actually have to put up more money to take less. So the funny part of that story is that all this fake DeFi companies that went bankrupt, they actually paid back their loans to the DeFi protocols like Aave and Curve. Because if they wouldn't have, they would just be liquidated and they would take more than they owe.
Yeah, right.
So it was more profitable for them to just give back the loan and take back the collateral. Because obviously, if it's 120% over collateralized, why would you do that? You're just gonna lose more.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's enough of that DeFi talk. I'm trying not to overload people with information.
Yeah. Because
I sometimes have to hold myself back.
Once we get to going, but that's a good introduction for people to feel, to not just hear like the logic, but to feel it. To feel like this is gonna be this is a real opportunity. This isn't like this is something that you don't want to 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the future, and we're at Eric Day celebration, and all the folks that jumped in are like super duper happy talking about great things, and then you're gonna be looking back like, man, I wish I would have jumped in, and it is gonna be too late at that point, because this is like literally a once in a lifetime, once in a generation opportunity. Like this don't happen, and this is maybe with the DeFi, you could argue this is the easiest for regular folks to get in to something like this, like, because if you go all the way back to, there's a lot of people that died trying to get in the gold rush in the 1800s, trying to get to California. There's plenty of folks that died on the way over there. If you compare it to the technology boom, that was people that was into that. Like I couldn't when that was going on, I was in high school. I couldn't have did that. Like I didn't know how to invest in to be some kind of investor and take advantage of that back then, and it was really hard to invest in even the stock market at that time, just to get in.
Like the IPOs, you have to be an accredited investor. You have to have a minimum of like $300,000 or $1 million.
Yeah, it's like all these rules.
Yeah, all these rules. Yeah. DeFi doesn't have any of that.
No.
Anybody can invest any amount and just learn and learn as you go, basically. That's what I always advise my students. Start with $100. And then just, put that $100 in there, take it out, learn all the mechanics, get comfortable, triple check everything. It's like anything. It's like practicing the diet, right? The more you do it, the more comfortable you get. It becomes second nature, automatic.
Right.
Kind of like muscle memory. So the same thing with DeFi and crypto. You start investing, you get comfortable, and then you start increasing the amounts because the math stays the same. $100, $1,000, $10,000, doesn't matter. That's it. You just get comfortable, and your passive income increases. The more you invest, the more you get. Basically, That's just how it works. Yeah, but you can start small. Put in $100, see how it does. Get comfortable, then put another $100, $200. Keep that rolling. That's how I started, actually. I didn't go all in right away because you make a mistake, losing $50, it doesn't hurt as much as losing $1,000 or even $100, right? Like, why would you? Because the process is the same. Yeah, that's what I concentrated in my course, where I teach the mechanics, the universal mechanics of DeFi versus focusing on which coins to invest. Like we'll get into that as well in the Telegram chat, in the
like that's down the road.
Once you're already in the
advanced.
course, once you're a student, once you learn the basics, Then people, once they learn the basics, they understand the process, the mechanics, then we can discuss all of that. That's already more advanced topics, like, oh, which farm they're going to, how do I diversify, risk, right? Which there are risks. There are, of course, almost risk-free farms, but you get 20, 30%, like stable farms, right? Or you can go into blue chip farms like Bitcoin, Ethereum, which has not much risk. I don't think there's much chance of Bitcoin or Ethereum failing, right? They're
Right.
huge. So like that's not gonna, especially now when it's bear market and it's already down a lot. Great, you get in at the bottom and you just kind of sit back, collect the yields, and you wait for things to go back up, which they will, because there's so much building going on, so much interest, so much adoption. I mean, BlackRock just made a deal with Coinbase for like custody of Bitcoin. So the institutional pension funds are getting into Bitcoin because they're now starting to realize this is the new gold. Like, and imagine that Bitcoin becomes like, the market cap of gold. It's like 10 trillion. And right now the market cap of Bitcoin is half a trillion, right? That's already like a 20x. Well, don't quote me because my brain is.
Yeah. But what's real shady is how that all of their centralized media is just like, it's dangerous, it's scary, fear, stay away. Wow, and while they're out there doing that, they're looking back, they're like, hey, y'all go get in there, hurry. It's scary, it's stay out here, get in there. And all the richest people in the world are you didn't even realize it, they already got there, because that's how they get there first. And I'm saying that's what I'm saying. This is a new thing where we can be there, we can get there. People that's just everyday kind of people, or folks that don't have those resources or have all that kind of stuff to that typically would be the type of people that would get to something like this first. We actually can do it this time, and it's in such a democratized type of system. It's just broken down. This is this big opportunity. That's all we can say. Is check it out. We got the free event tomorrow where we're going to get a little deeper into all of this. And if you're interested in Vadim's course right now, again, the links are all down below. I'll share that again. And I almost forgot to say, you want to put in the coupon code Spira.
Yeah.
And that's specifically for the mucus-free community.
It's a very special price only for the community.
Make
it as affordable as possible. And there's even a payment plan to help you out.
So this gets you 70% off of the retail price of the course. And so check that out. And coupon code Spira if you're ready to take action now, because this is to me, it's a no-brainer, because you basically, depending on how much you're able to invest, you make the money back from the course pretty quick, and it's real thing. Now, of course, we forgot to say, this is not financial advice.
Yes, not financial
advice. Is not not at all. This is a couple guys sitting around talking about food,
our experiences,
food and Bitcoin,
and
decentralized finance, so that is what's going to be. Reese says that I'm in the course. I definitely recommend it. And some of y'all know brother Carlos. That's those that participate in the Wednesday meetups that come every week. We have the free Wednesday meetups that go down. If you want to know about that, sign up for the Mucus-free Life Insiders Club down below. But Carlo, he was
the first student, he instantly saw the opportunity. He was like, I need to be in this. I need to do it. So he got in there, and he helped me beta test the course, basically run it through, because Carlos was a complete beginner, and that's what I needed. Somebody who doesn't know anything about crypto, doesn't have crazy computer skills, just your regular guy. Hey, Carlo. And he helped me a lot, actually, but by giving me feedback on some of the things he had problems with, some of the things that wasn't clear. So he was giving me feedback, and I was basically like editing the course, customizing the course to be better suited for beginners, because that's who I'm aiming for, like beginners. You know, the crypto natives, the people who've been in this for a long time, they already know how to do it. They're already in there. They're already in DeFi.
Yeah.
But you know, but but everybody needs to get in there and make money, not just the crypto natives, not just people with computer skills, not just people who teach cryptography or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
So Carlos a big help as well. And you know, so now he's doing great. He's kicking ass in DeFi, you know, like voting on Moonbeam, and he's like, he surprised me, man. He caught on quick. Within a couple of weeks, he was feeling real comfortable. I was shocked. I was like, what? This guy didn't know anything, and all of a sudden now he's feeling comfortable. He's in the Stella Swap Discord, asking them questions, participating in voting, getting NFTs. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is great. So I'd love to see the whole MD chess community, you know, follow in his footsteps, right, and make some extra money. You know, maybe a lot, maybe not so much, but everything helps, right, in this economy, right?
Yeah.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those on the fence, I mean, I do have a 7-day money back guarantee. So if you buy the course and you're not satisfied and you don't watch more than 50% of it, then I'll refund you all your money back. If I haven't delivered the value, then I don't deserve your money. That's what I think. But I'm pretty confident about the quality of this course. I put in a lot of work, like years and years of work, and distilled all of my knowledge, all of my experience, all into this one fairly short course, condensed, because I know people ain't got time for that. Like they want to get in there, they want to learn what they need to know and start making money. That's it, you know, and that money starts coming in and the pressure lessens. Because I've been there, you know, when I got sick, all my income shut off basically, and I was living on just whatever savings I had for my previous businesses. And you know, like then I found DeFi, I put my savings to work, right? So it's like either you work for the money or the money works for you. That's how usually that goes.
Right.
So I put my money to work, and then I put myself to work making this course. While the money in my money in DeFi was making me a nice stable income, you know, and I want that for everybody in this community, right? so we can get away from money, so we can, you know, get into Arid Village and build our own mucusless space, and that all takes money. So I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it is time to, and that was the big thing that I learned over the past 2 years, is that this is definitely something that a handful of us is going to do in this community. It's like a handful of us are going to wage this revolution, and it's going to be about creating our space, creating the blueprint, and then sharing that with the world so that they can see what we're talking about. Because right now they don't really get it. They don't know what we're talking about. They don't understand the depth of this, the revolutionary historical. They're going to see it, you know, but it's gonna, you know, I learned that, you know, because I come out of the tradition of the, you know, power to the people. Let's overthrow the government type of revolution. Let's burn this thing to the ground type of attitude. You know, I kind of come out of that energy. And when I saw how docile everybody was going to be and how everybody was just going to be so ignorant and just kind of bend over and go with the program, I'm like, well, that's never going to work. Yeah. That might have worked back in the day for certain things, but it's not going to work for this, because you got to have strong people that's not scared of every little thing in the world to make this thing happen. And so that's why I'm like, all right, we go underground. You know, this is part of the underground movement that's what our thing just has to be. For whatever reason, it's got to be that way, you know, and because it's too potent. Like I said, like I'm on here talking about fruits and vegetables, and I share some opinions, and they make me take down almost 35 videos.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's no nudity. I don't cuss all the time. Yet my videos are too dangerous. We got to protect the people on the platform, but you can go look up any number of videos of bar fights and street fights and people really getting hurt for real. Like, not just like, oh, that's funny. You got, like, no, we're talking about people being permanently injured and disabled. Like
those knockout videos, the top knockouts or whatever.
Yeah, all
the
that
knockout
stuff.
countdowns.
Knockouts and street. I just, just the top street fights, top right. The top knockouts.
Top knockouts, Like I made one comment and they deleted my whole YouTube account. That's it. Off of one comment, no warnings, no first strikes. I made one comment about you all know what. And basically, bam! Just
which we're not allowed to say on this platform.
Yeah, that word that I'm not allowed to utter on this platform. And they just nuked my account. Just went straight to nuclear option. It's like, nope, no warning. No first strike, no second, nothing. Just delete it. Bye-bye. Yeah. These guys talk about DeFi has no hash. Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin DeFi is coming as well. I'm aware about Web 5 and all of that. DeFi and lighting. Yeah. But for people who want to make, USD fiat passive income now, it's a good option at the moment. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm a Bitcoin maxi myself, so don't worry. I am well aware about the hash rate and proof of work versus proof of stake. Obviously Ethereum, is a scam in my opinion. It's the whole POS switch. But yeah, let's not talk about that. That's that's for the crypto native talk right here.
Yeah.
My man Conrad over there is he knows what's up.
Yeah, that's but this is, like they say, the revolution will not be televised. This is what the revolution is looking like for the physiological liberation. It's going to be a 21st century liberation movement, and we got to use the tools of the 21st century to do this, to do this. And I'm not talking about the 21st century poisons from the medical establishment and the 21st century surgeries and and have to cut everything. We're not talking about that, because the whole point is to avoid that. Like, I'd rather use all the other technologies in the world to avoid that technology, to stay away from any of that. And so, like I say, to me, the greatest technology that we have at our disposal right now is the enema bag. That's technology. That's
top tech.
Top tech. If I do a top 10, greatest technological feats for Mucusless diet practitioners, you got enema bag at the top.
That was invented 5,000 years ago by the Egyptians. There's some records of Egyptians, irrigating their backside.
The little pharaohs had an actual, literally had like an enema minister. Somebody that was their job, was to administer the enema to the pharaoh who needed it. Definitely by that time in history, they needed to clean themselves up, and they at least had the enough consciousness and wisdom to realize that helped. That they, and you could see it. Because they was sick as hell, because they were getting away from the natural diet, and further and further away. And the higher up you get in that hierarchy, the more access to the worst foods and the worst things that you get. And so the sicker you get, and the sicker they were. So Pharaoh is just sick guy. And so they at least had that for a while, where they had the enema ministry of enema.
It's like the rich people now. It all inverted basically. Now enemas are considered weird. Like irrigating and washing up there is considered taboo and weird. But doing surgeries and plastic surgeries and fillers and this, that, like putting things in your lips, that's considered normal. That's
Right.
that's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this society is strange, man.
Yeah. Like all
Or
the
injecting, experimental things into your arm, that's
yeah.
considered okay. But putting things
Yeah,
up,
well, yeah,
putting a
well,
little
I
thing
mean,
up your
they
butt.
injecting things into the arms and mouths and butts, and I mean, they injecting
Yeah.
because I didn't realize how bad that whole plastic surgery thing
Oh,
got.
it's
Like I
bad
was
now,
kind
man.
of out. I was sort of outside of that whole world so much that when I kind of got, I'm looking at it now, and folks are showing me what's going on, and even just when I'm walking around in Miami, and you're like, "Are any of this real? What's going on here? Like, what's
Yeah.
hey,
They look like grotesque Barbie dolls. Like that's what they look like plastic, just like Barbie.
And so and I've worked with people that that had gotten work done, and then they get on the Mucusless diet and they want to safely detoxify themselves and kind of reverse some of those things, and I've helped a number of people do that. But because the whole thing is like, clean yourself up and see what happens. See let's deal with natural beauty, because our value system is so compromised because it's literally constipated. Like with the things that we're attracted to, the things in the mainstream sense, just the kinds of the people, the activities, all that kind of stuff is compromised by pus and mucus eating. And so,
Well, yeah, because mostly they get plastic surgeries to keep themselves looking young, right? They're chasing that youth. And meanwhile, the irony is that the fountain of youth is right in front of them. It's the Mucusless Diet Healing System. All you gotta do is clean yourself up, and your skin gets better. I mean, look at me, like how I looked at 23 when I was consuming pus and mucus and poison, and how I look now. I mean, and I'm still improving. I'm sure with another 10 years of the practice, I'll probably look even better. And all the other alternative, like therapies, like the Tibetan routines, and like all these other things that I'm looking at, that side of MDHS, which I know Brother Air is gonna give me flack for. But yeah, but I like to experiment. Like I was saying, I'm a risk taker. Yeah, like look at these people. They don't look human anymore. I mean, who would want to look like that? I don't understand it. Yeah, and then they need plastic surgeries to fix those surgeries.
to fix the original thing.
It's like a vicious cycle, right? They can't stop because things just start deteriorating. As they get older, all this plastic surgery that looks great in the moment, it just goes sideways. Their faces deform, their bodies deform, and now they got to go back to the doctor.
And I'm not talking about the situations where there is an accident. There's a car accident. There's
not
a
that.
baseball bat that a knife that hit the face or whatever, reconstructive. Not talking about that, because there's definitely situations where that can be useful, but that's not what is normal now. The majority, I don't know what the stats are, but I would venture to say the majority of people that are getting plastic surgery are doing so for cosmetic reasons, and not because they were in a car accident or because they got hit in the face with a baseball bat or something like that. And it's like, man. But that's the decay of the value system, and the degeneracy of the value system.
I could just imagine aliens observing this from space and trying to make sense of this grotesque practice. They're probably like, what the hell are these humans doing? I don't get it. Why are they mutilating themselves and parading it around and then mutilating themselves more to fix the previous mutilation?
Yeah, it's like we're said, but we're strange because we do lemon juice and distilled water enemas.
Yeah, that's strange.
We eat fruit, we do fasts. We're bizarre and extreme, but this realm, how normal it is to get the butt implants and the just all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's okay for Chinese to do like swab anal testing, right? Which was another thing they were implementing, where you're in the airport, they just swab your butt to make sure
Yeah, right.
you're not positive for the thing, which I cannot say.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. It's a crazy world, but we
Yeah.
gotta
Well, it's like I always say,
we gotta do what we
we
gotta
got
do.
work to do.
Got
That's
work to do.
we got
Yeah.
work to do. As you clean yourself up, your value system changes. That's the point. And you can't understand that until you start to clean yourself up. And then all of a sudden you start to like, oh, wait, okay, my values are changing. Yeah, like I don't enjoy doing what I used to do. I don't enjoy being around some of the absurdity and some of the insane environments and just what used to be fun is no longer fun. And that's hard for some people because they start losing their desire to do what they're used to doing, and they get scared because they're like, man, I don't enjoy going to the restaurants anymore. I don't enjoy, like, you just don't enjoy it. It's like, and that's a good thing. That's part of the revolution. That's part of this transformation, is a real transformation to get away from all of the things that don't benefit you, that don't push your life forward.
Yeah, as your blood gets cleaner, you start to think in a whole different way. Like the way I think now versus how I thought 20 years ago, I was a completely different person. It was all about money, money, money. I just wanted to get that money. I was obsessed with getting like rich, with getting more money. Right? That's why I completely ignored my health, and then I paid for it big time in 20 years where everything fell apart and I lost most of the money. Good thing I had enough left to kind of pull myself out of the hole and go through the elimination, right? Which is what Professor was talking about. When you're going through that healing crisis and you can't do anything, you're grateful that you have some passive income coming in so you can kind of lay out and, go through the crisis, go through the elimination. And, you can't work. You can't make money at that point in time. And that's when you're glad to have that passive income to kind of get you by, right? While you're cleaning your blood, which is the main mission right now that we have, is to clean our blood and clean the blood of our future generations. That's the main goal, I think, because the current generation, it's lost. I mean, they're doing stupid things like the whole. Speaking about Grand Theft Auto, did you see that latest TikTok trend where they steal cars and they joyride them around, and like 4 teenagers got killed? They're actually trying to replicate Grand Theft Auto in real world. That's what they're doing. That's what the whole thing
like
is about.
Walking like that. Like I saw videos of that where they're walking.
No, they steal the car, then they kind of do the drifts, right? Side to side, kind of like Grand Theft Auto. But unlike Grand Theft Auto, this is the real world, and people get hurt, right?
Yeah.
And why people who do that? Why do they do it? Pus and mucus.
Yeah.
Pus and mucus culture. It's just like I could never see myself doing crazy things like that. Yeah, just taking insane risks like that. Yeah, so. It's all about the tool set, right? Like MDHS for health, DeFi for making passive income, and Bitcoin for storing value. That's I think those are key. Yeah, until we get to the resource-based economy, but that's a whole different rabbit hole.
Whole other podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast on that. Yeah, like resources. Yeah, because it's all about the resources.
Yeah. So, I definitely want to thank Vadim for being on today. Everybody do little clap emojis and all that good stuff. So we are going to be together tomorrow at 2:00 Eastern time for the Discover the Explosive Power of DeFi and Gain Both Physical and Financial Freedom, and where we're really going to get deeper into some of the things that we touched on today and really get you rolling in that respect. So yeah, as we say, we got a lot of work to do, and
hopefully see you guys tomorrow.
It's
a whole special presentation that I got prepared for you. We worked really hard on that. Took us a while to get it together, but I'm sure you'll definitely like it. Put it this way.
A lot of hours, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Lots of effort, lots of joint effort. Everybody pitched in. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get you guys making money in no time, and get you to that financial freedom one step at a time. One little step at a time. That's how it always works. Transition.
Yeah.
As Professor Spira likes to say, transition in everything, finances and health, right?
Most definitely.
Because health is wealth.
Yep, that's it.
As I learned the hard way. Don't do what I did.
Yeah.
Don't do what I did.
Yeah.
That
And
was a big mistake, and I paid for it big time.
yeah.
Lots of pain and suffering, and I went through the gauntlet, so to speak. It strengthened me, but there were some points where it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
It was touch and go for a couple of years.
Right.
I mean, but I made it, and now I'm here teaching you all guys about DeFi and crypto and Bitcoin. So It's great to be here.
Liberation movement. That's part of it. The physiological liberation movement. And we got to have resources. We got to get our finances together. And so that's what this opportunity is all about. So I thank everybody for tuning in. And like you said, click the link and join us. Sign up for tomorrow if you're interested in Vadim's course. All that information is down below. Click that, the mucusfreelife.com/DeFi-course if you want to learn more about the actual course and get started right away. But this is the future, and we're gonna walk into it together. And that's which is fun. It's fun doing this together as opposed to just being by yourself and like, I got some Bitcoin. It's like, nah, this is we're able to do this together, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. So
we support each other, on this journey towards full liberation in every front.
Most definitely.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna win. I truly believe that. I think we're stronger than them. There's a lot more of us than there are of them. Not to name names.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you all know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, peace, love, and breath.
We are mucus-free. 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 We are mucus-free.